your way in today on this Thursday evening.
Yes.
Everybody watching, please hit the like button. Make sure you share this video. We are in there going to comment and give y'all opinion. Y'all do so well. We want to say we definitely appreciate, you know, your participation. You know, even the people that won't, we appreciate you even watching the content, man. We got to jump in, you know, to this story right here. Now, we know the other day, everybody posted Dame Dash, Lee Daniels confronting him at I think it was Diana Ross's concert she was having in LA, and pretty much confronted him. You alluded to it, maybe that he set it up because the camera was right on him. And pretty much the backstory is, as we know, Dame Dash pretty much was one of the people that he put Lee Daniels on, and Lee Daniels promised Dame Dash an executive role in the movie, pretty much to be a director of a movie. Dame Dash gave him some money, never got the money back, sued him, you know, got the judgment against him. A couple years go past, Lee Daniels avoids him, doesn't pay him. Now Dame Dash runs square into him and puts it out for the world to see, saying, man, what do you think about this whole ordeal with Dame Dash and Lee Daniels? Now, it's obvious by looking at the video that Lee Daniels is guilty as hell. I mean, if you look at it, he's just like, fuck, like, yo, don't say shit. But go ahead, man. What you think about that?
It was dope. It was dope. Now, first off, it was set up. Now, I don't know if Dame had wind that he was coming there or he was ready, but he said, no, we're going to get this motherfucker and we're going to get him tonight. Have cameras ready because I'm going to go at him and he is going to be shook. And this is how I'm going to really expose this dude for the man that he is. And then he followed that up with a fucking radio tour saying more and more and more. We're going to get into that later on. But he definitely is guilty 100%. He said it on audio. I'm going to get you your money. I understand I'm wrong. I'm going to get you your money. Now, in that situation, do you think Lee Daniels knew that he was being recorded? Fuck no. He's not going to incriminate himself. He's been going on forever and ever, not giving his brother his bread. He obviously had the money. And I don't care what you say. I don't give a fuck how much it was. You're going to be mad if somebody doesn't pay you $2 million. Meanwhile, like Charlamagne alluded to, it was funny as hell. You see him out here promoting and doing things and flossing shit, and getting money. Yeah. And meanwhile, you're like, yo, bro, where's my money at? Where's my money at? On top of the fact that I put faith in you, I put love in you. I as a brother, I seen something in you that was different that maybe somebody else didn't see because nobody else was handing your monkey stank ass $2 million at the time but me. So you drive with the people that rode for you from the beginning, that built the foundation, that set the soil, and you turned your back on that. So he had every right to go to him and go there and bust him upside his head with facts. And it was funny as hell. You see homeboy in the back with the blanket on, scared as hell, like, oh, what's going on? Chocolate, I don't understand what's going on. It was funny as hell, man. And that I don't know if it's going to get to a point where, it seems like Dame Dash is obviously turning up the heat in the situation. It's not letting it go away, and it's only about to get bigger.
Yeah, now you got a $5 million lawsuit now.
You feel me? And it was $25 million back in the day, and then they settled out for something. But he's not playing. He wants his bread, and he deserves his bread. Right,
definitely. And actually, this leads into another conversation. You know, back Dame Dash. Actually, you know, I was sitting there and I recorded Dame Dash yesterday. He was doing an interview on Instagram at Power 106, I think, in LA yesterday, and he actually got into one of the radio interviews over there. Asked him about Jayz once again. So let me pull that video up, and then
like 15 years ago. So I moved on. But at the time, I was very resentful at the way the business was because I was always in it for the friendship. And the move we made was straight business, but it wasn't fair to the company. So there's no more Rocafella, there's no more Rockware, there's nothing else exists. And I spent a lot of time building that brand so other people could benefit from it. So I was just disappointed in how the business came before the everything. And also, you know, he was my best friend. So it was like, damn, that's my homie. But damn, like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really never in the business for the money. If that was the case, I would have never just gave it all away. I just liked how much fight we had. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was about something different. So, you know, it's natural to be hurt. You know,
what ended it? Like, what was the one thing that made you guys decide, or you decide?
What happened was Jay was like he wanted more of the money like a year or two before we were fucking done with the deal. Like, we had a deal based on a formula. We sold it based on a multiple. You know what I'm saying? And it was an amount of years. So he was already saying, like, I want more bread. And I was like, I'm not giving him more bread. And he wanted the bread. He wanted the Biggs' bread. And I was like, the Biggs ready to give it up. But we had like an OG. And he kind of squashed it, you know, and he died. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the next time around for the negotiation, you know, I think the people around him, from what I hear, you know, like Steve Styles, whatever, We're like, yo, why split it 3 ways? We can split it 1. We don't have to. And we all, all that. So he made a business decision there. And I left myself vulnerable because he was my best friend. So, like, had I known he could make that move, I would have protected myself from that kind of stuff. But I was like, guys, you got me. But what I didn't like was how they made it like we would have had a problem with each other because we never did.
Now, let's stop it right there, SamAnt. Now, hearing that, this is one of Dame Dash actually. I never heard him get this descriptive. He got real kind of descriptive, in it, really saying that pretty much like Jay-Z wanted more than money to himself. And this is what, what kind of like the demise of him. He said it in other ways, but I never heard him quite say it like that. So what do you think about that whole situation now? It's almost like he paints the picture that, that Jay-Z kind of, said, we're going to, so I want more of this. I want to be like the man. I want to be the artist and just sell the company off and make me the mainstay. But Dame Dash always was thinking about let's everybody eat. Let's stay independent and all of us eat. Let's have the beanies, the Young Guns, the Melly, whoever. Everybody knows the names of the people. But Jay-Z said, no, I'm just going to do me and sell it off. What do you think about that whole dynamic, man? Or do you think that Dame Dash, because a lot of people will say that he's bitter over this. What's your whole, thought on that?
A lot of people's going to say he's bitter. So let me start off by saying this. He was asked the question. He didn't bring it up.
Word.
Okay.
Thanks.
So he answered a question that he was asked. No one brought up Jay-Z. He was talking about what he's talking about. And the question was asked. So he was man enough to answer it. Shout out to Dame for doing that. I think that Dame admitted in what he said that he made a mistake.
Yep.
And the mistake that he made was he mixed business with personal. He didn't really truly understand. And I don't want to say he didn't understand. He was naive to the fact that in business, anything could happen. And that one in particular, being his best friend and his brother, would not do it. And that's, like I said, that's easier said than done to separate business when it comes to personal, when it comes to that kind of relationship. We personally can understand that and attest to that. You don't think that somebody in that situation would do it. On top of having the proper bugs planted and put in his ear, it was just a recipe for something that ended up happening. I don't think that Dame Dash would find himself in a situation right now where he would do that again. I think it was a lesson learned. Yeah, but that's obviously easier said than done, given the complexion of their relationship. I don't think Dame will make that mistake again, like I alluded to. I don't really seeing that a situation that would happen. And I don't think you can really blame either side. I think that both parties ended up being at peace with it. You don't see too much conversation between the two of them now. That's probably because they both still take it a little personal, because it would be dope for them to kind of reconcile their relationship and just at least be knowing out there and had an energy out there that they're cool and they're friends. Because the dynamic between the two and The Rock was,
but you gotta
transcend. It was transcendent, man.
You gotta think though, like, I mean, if they made like 300 million or more together, what they could have been if they would have just stayed together, man. What if they would have just, you know what I mean? That's what makes you think, like, and this is what Dame always says, is like, now you see, because instead of this, Rocafella could have been worth, $1 billion plus, as opposed to now just Jay-Z. You know what I mean? About this, you know what I mean? So you kind of seen Jay-Z became like the whole company, you know what I mean? And Rocafella is just dissipated now.
One could definitely respect that mantra and that way of thinking, but would it have?
Maybe. Why not? I mean, it wasn't slowing down, bro.
You got Dame Dash and you got Jay-Z with that mindset, but in order to do it the way
Biggsburg, yeah, another one,
Biggsburg, absolutely,
right.
but to do it the way Dame wanted to do it, he had an infrastructure there with all pieces in the puzzle disciplined enough to carry out the ultimate blueprint that Dame Dash saw.
They made 300 million.
No,
you know,
and that's a fact.
They were, you know what I mean? They was one of the top acts at Def Jam. I mean, why they, I don't know, man, but that'd be a great conversation, to talk to either one, Dame or Jay, about.
I mean,
what it could have been.
They had the movie house going, they had their own distribution, they had their clothing
liquor,
line,
everything.
They had liquor. They were building to something to be crazy. I don't know if you can blame either side. I definitely understand what Dame's way of thinking was. You build a village and you feed everybody's children, and you build and you build and you build. He had the ultimate blueprint. He just didn't have the pieces in place to follow through and had the same way of thinking as him. You can't blame either side.
But even like, it's like, even what Jay-Z's doing now, you gotta respect it to a certain extent. I like to hear what Dame thinks about Tidal and everything. You gotta come and do an interview on an Uncensored Truth podcast, Dame Dash, while you're making your rounds. That'd be dope, man.
What do you think about him saying and having frustration and people never asking Jay-Z about this conversation? Why is always Dame the one and the go-to guy for the Jay-Z talk? Why never does anyone ever sit down? Why not in the Time interview? Why not when he sat down on Tidal for the exclusive interview when 444 came out? Why not ever really was Dame ever brought up in this kind of degree and this extent?
That'll be one of the first questions that I want to ask Jay-Z about, because this is like he's responsible, you know, for your start. You know what I mean? Y'all started together. Y'all built this empire together. So this is why I want to start at with Jay-Z. Let's talk about Rocafella. Let's talk about your relationship with Dame Dash. So it behooves me why everybody's scared to ask Jay-Z this question. I agree 120% with Dame Dash. Like, I would love to hear, you know, and he has spoken on it like years back. I think he spoke on Hot 97 real briefly, but he's real vague. Like, let's, like you said, like a Time interview or, you know, something like that. Let's talk about Dame Dash. Let's talk about Rocafella. Where did it go wrong? Because y'all was doing so great together. Why just, you know what I mean? I just want to see where it could have been with Dame's mindset now, knowing, you know what I mean, how Dame is. Or it could have been. You know, it
would be hard not to talk about Dame. You talk about Reasonable Doubt. You talk about Life and Time with Sean Carter. You talk about Hard Not Life.
Right.
This brother was involved. Dynasty. This brother was involved in all of these intricate in all of these albums. You can't talk about it without even talking about the music, and it would only transition right into the business. So, I mean, maybe Jay-Z knows that, and he doesn't really seem like a type of person to be very forward with his feelings and very forward with his emotion. He's calculated in how he disseminates that kind of information. So I don't know if we'll ever hear from him.
Would you like to see that, though? I think the world would love to see that conversation.
I think it's needed.
Yeah.
I think it's needed. I think because when you have something, like you said, had 300 million behind it and growing, and you had something so powerful, I think the question is fair to ask. What did you see from a business perspective to make you go, okay, this makes sense to leave and do it on my own?
Was he greedy? I think it's, more people, when they sit down with Jay-Z, like you have to, you know, ask him about, you know, the Dame Dash situation at this point, because there's a lot of unanswered, I think, questions with that whole situation. Dame has answered it to ad nauseum over a year. He's been saying the same thing. You read the Culture Vultures book, he says the same thing over and over. But, you know, Jay-Z's perspective will be needed.
Yeah, definitely, man. I conclude that for sure.
Definitely. But you're listening to the Uncensored Truth Podcast with your brother, Old God and SamAnt. Everybody listening, we want to encourage you to please go up top, hit the like button, and make sure you share this video. We appreciate everybody coming over from Hip Hop News Uncensored and Viral Hip Hop News. You already know what it is. All right, let's get into this next story.
Out of that. Ooh, you not the only one. Say you get money, you not the only one. No, you a shooter, a killer, you not the only one. When it's wartime, my bullets gon' block the sun. But you thought you had the only gun. Nigga talk like a man and put your shoulders up. And when the smoke dust settle, you know the war's